Hi everyone, in this video we're going to learn how to play Dead Cells. Okay. Oops, I opened too many windows. Okay. Let's learn how to play Dead Cells. This tutorial exists thanks to Nick and Yancer. Dead Cells, the first Rogue-Lite board game inspired by the Metroidvania genre. Play with up to 4 players as one of the 4 unique Beheaded, each with their own set of skills and strengths, and leap into an intense cooperative experience based on the critically acclaimed video game. In Dead Cells, you and your allies will slash your way through a malaise-infected horde of enemies to defy the infamous Hand of the King, or die trying. And just like in the best roguelites, each run takes you further as every death makes you stronger. Explore, kill, die, mutate, repeat. Explore, kill, die, mutate, repeat. Okay. At the beginning of each campaign, each player must choose a character. We have 4 options. The poisoned can generate extra money and use it as a resource in combat. The immolated can mark enemies and set them ablaze. The flayed can protect his allies. The quartered has more flexible combat options. Let's go with the immolated. Select the immolated, then confirm your choice at the top, okay? Our intrepid partner chose the flayed. He'll keep us safe whenever we tear our enemies limb from limb. Now we're ready to start our first run. In each run, we'll fight our way through 2 biomes before facing off against a fearsome boss. To get a better look at the first biome, I suggest you use the magnifying glass to zoom in. Is the prisoner's quarters filling up your screen now? Okay, prisoner's quarters. Yes, it is. Okay. Each biome comprises a series of rooms connected by paths. We need to work our way all the way across the board until we reach the right side. In a real game, you'll want to discuss your movement with your teammates, but the decision ultimately belongs to the first player, which is indicated by this crown. We're the first player, so let's get moving. The first room has a treasure chest in it, so move there. Okay, I guess click. When we move to it, the tile flipped over to reveal our loot. We have to choose between an equipment card and a blueprint card. Equipment cards give our characters an edge in combat, but this is our first campaign. The equipment deck will be full of rusty weapons. Okay, equipment card. So, blueprints can be turned into strong equipment cards a little later in our run. This will unlock the card permanently, so it can show up in future runs as well. So click here for blueprint. Okay. Great. BJ placed the blueprint on the mutation board, which will keep track of any buffs, abilities, or items that we permanently unlock. You can use the tabs along the left side of the screen to find the mutation board easily. The blueprint is in the bottom right corner, a broadsword. Where is it? I don't see it. Oh, well. Mutation board, okay. Okay, if we click on this, there we go. Okay. That's our mutation board, okay. Use the tabs at the left to find the biome board again. Okay, biome board. Looks like we have 2 paths ahead of us with an encounter on each one. Take the top path. So we're going to go this one. Okay. Okay. The tile flipped over to reveal, let's scroll up, exactly what we're fighting. 2 normal monsters. Monster. The tile also shows that there's a dead cell in the room. If we use a loot action before combat ends, we'll pick it up. Okay. Continue. Oops. Next, scroll down or use the tabs to find the combat board. Okay. Looks like we're fighting a shield bearer and a zombie. Where is that? Oh, here we go. Okay. Each encounter comprises 3 rounds of combat, followed by a 4th cleanup round. We can see what each monster will do during each round. For instance, the shield bearer will shield itself and the monster behind it during the first round. Do nothing the second round and attack the first player for 1 damage in the third round. So 1, 2, 3. Along the very bottom of each card, it shows if the monster has a round 4 cleanup action, what we'll get for defeating the monster. For example, if the zombie survives the 3 rounds of combat, it will attack us one last time in round 4. If we defeat it, we'll get 1 gold tooth. So like this black bar. Okay. To defeat our enemies, we have to play cards from our hand. Each player has a hand of 3 cards drawn from their own character-specific deck of 6 cards. In each encounter, our party must play a total of 3 cards. In 2-player games like this one, the first player will play 2 cards, the other player will play 1. In 3-player games, each player will play 1 card. In 4-player games, 3 players will each play 1 card and 1 player will have to pass. But at this point, before you play anything, you should briefly strategize with your teammates, less than a minute. Your enemies won't just sit around waiting for you to finish. Thematically, this gives you enough time to mention general strategy, like we should take out that guy as soon as possible. You do not have enough time, again, thematically, to discuss the specifics of your card. BJ doesn't have a way to enforce this, but the designers think this is a way that is most fun. Probably a good idea to follow their advice, don't you agree? Speaking of card specifics, let's take a closer look at them. They're similar to the monster cards we already have looked at. Each one gives us 1 or more actions spread across 3 rounds. So these are our cards, 1, 2, 3. The first card in our hand unleashes a devastating 2 damage attack in round 1. The arrows to the right of the damage icons indicate our range. In this case, we can only target enemies that are immediately in front of or immediately behind us, but not distance enemies. The second card in our hand has a round 1 loot action, which we can use to pick up the dead cell in the room. Dead cells are used at the end of the runs to unlock permanent upgrades. This card also tells us activate a kill in round 2. Okay. Each character has several activatable skills they can unlock. Some equipment cards also grant skills. More on skills later. Okay, that's enough information for now. Let's come out swinging. Click on the leftmost card in your hand to play it. Next, play loot skill. Okay. Now, what happened? Okay, our teammate chose their card as well. Next, BJ laid out the important parts of each card to form the combat log. Scroll around or use the tabs to find it. So combat log. Here we go. Okay. Right here. Okay, our teammate chose their card as well. Oh, there we go. Continue. BJ will now execute all the actions in the log. Within each round, all actions are executed 1 at a time from left to right, according to our enemy's combat positions. Therefore, if there were a monster behind us in this slot, it would actually act first in each round before we would. The first action in our log is our devastating 2 damage attack. As you can see at the top, there's only 1 enemy we can target with it. If it were a more flexible attack, we'd have some more options here. Okay. When damage is inflicted, damage counters are then placed onto the target. Let me scroll up, see where it's pointing at. Okay. When the number of counters is equal to the target's health, shown in the top left corner, the target dies. Click here to slice them up. Watch what happens to shield bearer. Okay, let me watch. So there's the health there too. Damage shield bearer. Okay, bang, bang. Okay, goes up there. Okay, great. 2 damage counters were placed on the shield bearer, killing it. Slain enemies are moved here to the monster discard pile. It dropped a dead cell, which was immediately added to our party's group bag. Oh, over here, right here. Let's move on. The next action in the log is loot action. Remember BGA placed a dead cell in the room earlier. We can use this action to pick it up. So click here. Okay. Great. Let me see where it's pointing to. Now we have 2 dead cells. By the way, loot actions can also be used to activate potions, but we don't have any right now. Maybe we'll find one later. Let's see. The next action is our teammate's block action, which will generate a block token. As you might expect, block tokens can counter incoming damage. The next action is the enemy's shield bearers, but he's already dead. Good thing we took him out before he could get the shield up. Finally, the enemy zombie attacks for 1 damage. Whenever a monster attacks, the first player must decide who receives the damage. This is not always the case. Some monsters can attack specific targets like the first player. At the top, we can assign the damage to our partner, Nekanyancer, or ourselves. Next to our names, it says 3 remaining, referring to our remaining health. Do you see the black icon at the end of Nekanyancer's button? It's his block token. If we assign the damage to Nekanyancer, he won't actually take it. He'll just lose his block token instead. So let's click on Nekanyancer. Okay, that's it for round 1. At the end of each round, 2 things occur. Any enemies with empty spaces in front of them walk closer to us. Any poison enemies take 1 damage. Both of these are indicated on the right end of the combat board. Let's go to the combat board. Oh, here. Right here. Okay. Now we'll start round 2. First, we'll do nothing. After that, we'll get to activate a skill. Okay. Before we activate a skill, I need to explain the scroll tracks. Scroll down or use the tabs on the left side of the screen to find the immolated character board. Immolated. Is that this one? Okay. Each character has 3 tracks on their board. Green is survival, purple tactics, and red is brutality. There's a scroll on each track. According to the left of a scroll is anything to the left of a scroll is active. Okay, active here. Thus, we move scrolls to the right. We will unlock new abilities. Take a look at the first space on our tactics track. It shows that we can use a skill icon to put a mark token on an enemy in any position. To put an enemy, I don't know. Marked enemies take +1 damage at any time they take a damage. Marked enemies take +1 damage anytime they take damage. This effect lasts until the end of the encounter. Click here to mark an enemy. Okay. Click here to apply the mark to the zombie. Okay. Next, Nekanyancer will damage an enemy. This would normally do 1 damage, but thanks to our mark, it will do 2, which is enough to kill the zombie. So let's see. The zombie has 2 health, so that makes sense. Bang, bang. Okay. Continuing combat. Okay, great. We vanquished all our foes. Note that even though we finished them off in round 2, BJ still has to go step by step through all 3 rounds, followed by a quick cleanup round. If there were, say, a bomb to explode in round 3, it would still explode. After we finished the encounter, each player drew until they had 3 cards in their hand again. Scroll up or use the tabs to find the biome board again. We march onward. Okay, biome board. There's a deck check ahead of us. When we pass it, the first player, still us, will draw a card from the top of the deck. If it has a green, purple, or red icon in the top left corner, we'll get a special bonus. As for the main room, it contains a door. No telling what could be on the other side, so move there. BJ is warning us about the deck check. How thoughtful. Click on Let's Go. Okay, it's red. Okay, opening a door. Okay, great. The top of our deck happened to have a red icon, so we got another dead cell for free. The room contains a gold tooth and a brutality scroll. Whenever we find a scroll, we can choose who it will apply to. That player will then advance 1 space on the corresponding track, unlocking a new ability. Let's see what this brutality scroll would unlock for our teammate, the Flayed. Scroll down and use the tabs to find their character board. This ability right here, this ability would allow them to take damage instead of the first player, even if the enemy is specifically targeting the first player. I guess that's not bad. Let's check our own upgrade on the immolated character board. So this is me. That upgrade will let us deal 1 damage before each combat starts. That sounds pretty good to me. Unfortunately, we aren't the first player anymore, so it's up to our teammate to decide who this scroll should go to. Nice, they gave it to us. One more thing about this space. Do you see this icon? Let's just see this picture, the little crown. It's partially covered by our party's figure. Whenever that icon appears, someone else becomes the first player. Okay. There are 2 paths ahead of us, and since our partner is now the first player, he will decide which way to go. This monolith represents an elite encounter. The guy to the southeast is the merchant, who will sell us equipment in exchange for gold teeth. Looks like we went to the monolith. Okay. Nebuchadnezzar moved us to the elite encounter. When the tile was flipped over, it turned out to have another crown on it, making us the first player again. See, the crown is right here. That means we'll have to play 2 cards in this encounter, and Nebuchadnezzar will play 1. Play the left card, because it said damage. This card has an icon you haven't seen before. It's another status affliction, bleeding. Bleeding enemies die at the end of round 3, regardless of damage, so let's play it. I think I did play it. Okay. Okay, combat is starting. If you check the log, you'll see that another row was added for round 0. Let's check it right here. Oh, right here. Okay. There is only one round 0 action, our unlocked brutality ability. Click on to damage the grenadier. Round 1. We can deal 1 damage. Let's go up. Finish off the grenadier. Right here. I have 2 health. Okay, next, Nebuchadnezzar can use his skill. The only thing he can use it on is his tactic ability, which will generate a block token. I don't think there's much else to see. I'll skip through the rest of this combat. Okay, let me just scroll through everything. Okay. Combat. Okay. We defeated our enemies again, but this fight didn't go as cleanly as the first one did. We took 2 points of damage as shown along the top of our immolated character board. Right here. Okay. If you scroll up, you'll also find this info in the top right corner. Again, those red tokens indicate damage, not health. See right here. We have 1 health left, not 2. Our vanquished foes drop 2 pieces of equipment. Use the tabs to find the annex board. Annex board, okay. Oh, the equipment bag is currently on the right end of it. I think these, yeah. Okay. In our group bag. As a first player, we get to decide who gets what. First, the rusty sword. Say I told you this equipment was rusty. If you hover over it, you'll see that it can be used to deal 1 damage in round 2. However, there is a slash on it, which means that it can only be used instead of whatever else our played card would have us do in round 2. Okay. It's still a pretty good card though. Doing nothing counts as something, which means we can use the sword instead of doing nothing in round 2. Our teammate spends most of his time blocking. Let's give him this sword so he can deal some damage too. So click on Nick and Yancer. Next is the old wooden shield. It can block 1 point of damage in round 2. Since we only have 1 health left, we should take this one. If one of our party members dies, the whole party loses. Click on you. Let's keep going. Get back to the biome board. So move to the next room. Okay. Awesome, a survival scroll. This one stipulates that it can only go to the first player, us, but it's exactly what we need anyway. It will give us one more health. Click on move at the top. Onward. Okay, let's see. Yikes, this is going to be a tough fight, but there's nothing new to show you here, so I'll skip through it. Oh, give me a second. I have a pie in the oven. Okay. So, okay, I'm back. What are we doing? It's fast forwarding. Okay, updating game situation. Continuing combat. Okay. We didn't manage to finish off all three of our foes, but that's okay. At the end of combat, surviving enemies are discarded anyways. We just miss out on a little loot, that's all. Back to the biome board, we have to choose an exit. We can go northeast to the ramparts or southeast to the toxic sewers. Well, the ramparts certainly sound more appealing, don't they? Unfortunately, the path to the ramparts has this icon on it, this purple thing. We're not allowed to use this path unless we have that specific rune with us. We should keep our eyes out for it. If we find it, it will stay on our mutation board forever, so we'll be able to go to the ramparts on a future run. We're going to use the toxic sewers. Whew, we made it through the prisoners' quarters. Now we're at the interbiome, which is in the bottom right corner of the mutation board, so go find it. The interbiome, which is in the bottom right corner of the mutation board. Okay, mutation board. Bottom right corner. Okay, here we go. Note that our broadsword blueprint is no longer here. Whenever we enter the interbiome, all acquired blueprints are automatically manufactured and placed on top of the equipment deck for free. There are 3 mysterious vendors in the interbiome. The first can heal a single point of damage for 1 point, for 1 gold tooth. Our teammate currently has the crown, so they have to decide whether to buy it. They spent 1 tooth to heal us by 1 point. Great. Next, the merchant will sell us the top card of the equipment deck, in this case, a broadsword, for 2 teeth. Our teammate paid 2 teeth for the broadsword and must now choose who will wield it. Unfortunately, no one has unlocked additional equipment slots, so whoever gets the sword will have to discard their old item. They gave the broadsword to us, so click here to exchange it with our old wooden shield. Okay. The last vendor, the collector, will sell us a new blueprint for 4 gold teeth. Yikes, that's expensive. Our teammate declined the offer, finishing the interbiome phase. BJ laid out the next biome for us, the toxic sewers. There are a couple unfamiliar icons on this board. Let's go up. Okay. This is a different kind of deck check. When we try to walk through that path, the first player will reveal the top card of their deck. If it has a green, purple, red icon in the top left corner, we'll get through unscathed. If we fail the check, someone will take the point of damage. Let me see what it looks like. I don't see. Oh, here we go. Over here. I think that's it. I'm not sure. Okay, if you forget how they work, you can click on the info button along the right side of your screen. See the arrow? I think this. Oh, here. Actually, while you're at it, if you should peruse through all those buttons, especially the question mark, go ahead, I'll wait. Okay. Oh, that's a lot. Okay. Okay, click, click. This is called a hand check. Okay, this thing right here. The first player card can only take us through that path if they discard a card with the indicated icon from their hand. Otherwise, we can't go through it. When we exit the biome, we'll get to chat with the nice fellows at the inter-biome again. Then we fight a boss, the concierge. There's a lot of information specific to each boss, but another info button will appear when you reach him. If you beat the boss, you'll sort of win. Whether you win or lose, you'll be able to unlock plenty of new cards, biomes, and enemies. Play enough runs, and not even the dreaded Hand of the King will be able to stop you. One last thing before you go. If you prefer, you can traverse the Disease Kingdom on your own by toggling solo in the lobby options. In solo mode, you will be accompanied by a dancing sword named Serenade. I won't get into the details here, but you can read all about Serenade on page 18 and 19 of the rulebook. Thank you for playing through this tutorial for Dead Cells. If you have any questions or comments about the tutorial, feel free to send Nekanyancer a message. Big thank yous go out to Antoine, Coratine, Ludovic, and Theo for designing this game. Scorpion Mask for publishing. Les Stefan for bringing it to BGA. Have fun. Okay, 5 stars. Okay, thanks for watching.